So just very quickly, I want to go through every one of you. What should this film leave with us in terms of what we need to do, each one of us, what we need to do next to make sure that we're doing our part, but really leave it for one sentence. Go ahead.
I'm going to answer this question as a Jew and as an Israeli citizen, that what this film did for me, that reminded me that if I'm not the owner and the narrator of my own story, someone will take it from me, and it is my duty to continue to talk about this movie, to talk about these women, and to, when I walk into a room of women's rights organizations, that I don't leave those two parts of me outside, and I insist that people look me in the face and recognize what my people are going through, what these women have gone through, and I'm not going to back down.
Well, I think everybody in this room can play a role. Education, as I said before, is the road to peace and understanding. There is denial not just of the women's rape issue, but there also is denial of everything. The posters being taken down, the whole experience, the whole Jewish-Israeli experience. So you have a role. You can educate, you can post, you can repost, and if you're on social media, if not, you can write a letter to the editor, you can pick up a pen, you can put your hands on this, you can make sure that every single one of your friends sees this film and other films that are relevant. So pick up a pen, make sure that you take a role here, join us.
800 people were executed in Iran last year. That's what the UN Repertoire told us last week on the Hill. Just for saying what they believe in, for not wearing a hijab or a dupatta or whatever. 800 people were executed.
2,000.
Why? 2,000. If they're saying 800, it might be 2,000. Why is there selective outrage? Why didn't people speak up for Mahsa Amini, who had the courage to do what she believed in? Why aren't we talking about the Uyghur women who just had a conference in New York and said, listen to us, we are also Muslim and we're hurting. Why don't we talk about Rohingya women? Do you know, thousands and thousands of them were raped. They are still trafficked and sent to all parts of Asia, but we are just concerned with Israel. That has to stop. This selective outrage has to stop, and we all need to demand that Seema Bahous, who's the UN Women's Chief, has not condemned the violence of Hamas against Israeli women. She doesn't even believe it. She needs to resign, and we must all call for that. My taxpayer dollars and laws cannot go to building tunnels and refusing to acknowledge the pain of women.
I'll keep it short. I think
Yeah, please, everybody.
we need a political and civic engagement home for Muslim Americans that are not anti-Semitic, that are not with the grievance narrative, and that are a counter to CARE and Islam and ICNA. What's sitting in Washington, D.C. today is a danger. The Muslim-Jewish relations, the history of them in the United States has always been on caveats, and that was on Zionism and the existence of Israel. And so we need to change that. So we need a seat at the table, and we need to be in Washington, D.C.
Be a role model. Show that you can hold multiple truths at the same time. Even if you support Israel, even if you wish the destruction of Hamas, and believe me, I'd love to wake up tomorrow and find Hamas gone. Try your best to think of the humans on the other side. Think of the people of Gaza that are suffering due to circumstances over which they have no control. If you model that, if you exhibit that, you show that you're the better person, even if it's not reciprocated. You do what's right, not expecting something good in return, and I promise you that will plant seeds for transformation.
So I have, when I met Rachel Goldberg in Tel Aviv, she told me about her son Hirsch, who had many Muslim friends, but not one person contacted her. And I told her I will remind about her son at any gathering that I come to and I speak at. And so I want you to remember her son. And when I met Amit in DC, I asked her, what is the message you have for the world? She said, talk about us. so that people will hear. And my request to you is, there are 650 million Muslims in South Asia. Don't forget that. Don't let the Arab voices take hold of the narratives. So yes, yes, please. This is urgent. This is important. As Zainab said, we need you to amplify our voices. This is hard for us. They call us, I mean, we are a step away from a death threat, but we take a step because we are convinced we are not looking for consensus.